River Road, you got me running way back home. River Road, you got me running all night long. You got me singing some canal boat song. River Road, you got me running all night long.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Niner Nuts. I am Dan, alongside my co-hosts, James and Eric. Gentlemen, say hello.
What's up, everybody?
Hey, everyone. How's it going?
And we are here, not on our normal taping schedule. We had a little conflict come up, but we are still celebrating like it's Victory Monday, as we have, this is not the right year, this is last year's, but our San Francisco 49ers are division champions once again, back-to-back years, 22 and 23, with this victory over the Arizona Cardinals. I don't have an alcoholic drink, but cheers, gentlemen. We won the division, one step closer.
Yeah.
Hey, all right. Woo!
Whatever.
This is not sponsored by Smoothie King in any way, shape, or form, just so we're clear.
Nor Dr. Pepper, even though I drink it damn near every episode. The nerdy number stuff that I like to do to get that out of the way. Oh, looky here. Brock Purdy had a passer rating over 130. Again, 135.3 to be exact. 4 touchdowns, no picks or fumbles. Didn't even take a sack. Shout out to our offensive line. Christian McCaffrey and Deebo Samuel more or less took over the show. Christian had, about 100, over 180 total yards and 3 total touchdowns, 2 receiving, 1 rushing. And Deebo Samuel, it did count as 2 receiving touchdowns on 48 yards. Not that much yardage, but 2 receiving touchdowns. Kittle also had a nice day, 54 yards. Brandon Ayuk, he's going to be a little bit more remembered today for a really bad drop that he had, 37 yards otherwise. But like I said, didn't really need him when it was the Christian McCaffrey and Deebo Samuel show for the Arizona Cardinals. I'm a little concerned about how many rushing yards we gave up. A lot of them was on the DeMarco 50-yard touchdown, though. But as for Kyler Murray, we didn't let him run that much over us. He only ran for 49 yards, threw for 211, 1 touchdown, 2 picks, and he took 3 sacks. On our way to a 45-29 victory. We are 1 game away, playing the Rams in January, from sweeping the NFC West entirely. Already locked up the division, so happy hat and shirt day as well. Guys, what did you all think about this game?
Well, my only question is, what is Kyle Shanahan going to do when he's up 28-3 in the Super Bowl? Is he going to get conservative again? Or is he going to step on the throats of whoever comes out of the AFC? Because there's nothing to be worried about here. The Niners are going to get home field advantage throughout the playoffs. It's going to go through Levi. Purdy is, I just think they're going to whoop everybody's butt in the playoffs. There is nobody in the NFC that can really compete with the Niners. I hate to say that as an Eagles fan, but it's freaking true. It really is true. They just go, what do the 49ers do? They just go out and crush teams every single week. And, the question is, what does Purdy really do in 2 minutes? Who gives a crap? They beat everybody down. And this reminds me of the 2017 Eagles, basically before Carson Wentz went down. Every game came up, trap game, whatever. I thought they just went out and beat the crap out of people. It wasn't until Nick Foles came in during part of the season where things got a little sketchy. But then you go to that NFC Championship game, they trounce the Vikings, and then they go to the Super Bowl and play their hearts out. But really, you have the test this week with the Ravens to see, okay, how good are they against some AFC contenders? But really, they've just shown that they can go out and just kick the crap out of everybody.
Eric, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I don't know what to say more about the Niners from an offensive perspective. We saw everything that we continue to see week after week with them. We saw Purdy displaying his excellence in the pocket and out of the pocket, rolling out and finding guys. He threw for 4 touchdowns again. I think that's his third 4-touchdown game in the last 5 weeks or something like that. He's been outstanding. McCaffrey continues to be a complete cheat code for us. He can just do everything out there. We just hand it to him and he makes things happen. He averaged almost 6.5 yards a carry in that game. Debo, again, since we called him out on the podcast, continues to do well. So I don't know. I don't know how other teams are going to slow this team down. I don't know how that's going to happen. I mean, they've played good teams over the last few weeks, and like James said, I mean, they're just stomping them into the ground. I mean, I don't know what you're supposed to do. I have some critiques defensively. I mean, there was a lot of missed tackles in this game. Warner and Greenlaw looked very average in this game compared to how they typically look. Warner missed a bunch of tackles. Greenlaw kind of didn't really show up on the stat sheet, which is unusual for him. We definitely missed Hargrave and Armstead in the middle. I mean, they were able to just run through us all night long. So, I mean, that was a couple of the big takeaways that I took from the game. I don't know what the Arizona offense is supposed to be. That was the weirdest and just ugliest offense that I've seen anybody play against the Niners all season long. Like, they don't throw to their wide receivers. Like, I don't know what that's supposed to be. I don't know how they're planning on winning football games with throwing 20 passes to your tight end. Like, I mean, Trey McBride was really good. Don't get me wrong, but like, I just don't know how that's supposed to work. So, but whatever. I mean,
you mean the Cardinals are bad?
The Niners,
surprise, right? Like they
yeah. I mean, but it was just like on a different level, kind of than what I was expecting. I kind of thought with Kyler Murray in there, they'd be a little bit more dynamic, and it's just a bunch of little 2 and 3 yard check down passes all the time. I mean, they don't push the ball down the field at all. It was really just bizarre. And I mean, okay, if you want to do that against the Niners, good luck, because they're going to eat you alive over the course of the game. I mean, you just have no shot. So, I think it's going to be really interesting to see what happens here on Christmas Day. It's number 1 versus number 1 coming in. It's 2 heavyweights. It's 2 of the best defenses in the NFL going against each other. Certainly the Niners have the better offense to the 2 teams, but the Ravens keep winning games, even though they don't look like they are doing anything remotely well on offense. They just keep winning. So we'll see what shakes out. But I'm curious to how it's gonna work out for us this week.
Right. I'm piggybacking off of what you guys said. I'm in the same boat in terms of the offense. Since our bye week, man, it's clicking. I'm worried about the health of our guards. Like, Feliciano is awesome. He definitely could be a starter on anyone else's team, except when he was a center for the Giants. I don't know what happened there, but as a guard for us, he's A+, perfect backup for Burford. Outside of our guards always seemingly getting hurt, it doesn't seem like it matters. So I agree. Our offensively, I got no notes. Purdy looked perfect. All of our weapons, you just can't cover everybody. Defensively, that was the first text I sent our group chat, and I think I tweeted it too, because I live tweet every week. That without both Hargrave and Armstead in the middle, that is bad news. That is going to be bad news if we don't have them for the Ravens game, because they just went down our throats. On the most successful runs, they were always down our throat, because Kinlaw, yeah, he's been having a better year, and then Klyla Davis and Kevin Givens, they're not Javon Hargrave and Ark Armstead. I'm sorry. They're fine as backups in rotation, but no, they should not be starters. Because that was a really glaring problem that we had. The missed tackles, we're just missing tackles all year. We could go back every single game. We have a terrible tackling discipline problem. I don't know why. It hasn't exactly costed us too much, but no, I agree. The tackling, whatever's going on with tackling, that's got to be locked down for the Ravens game too. But it's not all bad. The Bosa and Chase double siding is great. Whenever Randy Gregory comes out, no, he doesn't have 6 sacks already. But no, Randy Gregory is a very productive member that ended up working out for us on the cheap. And then our backs, got to give a massive shout out to our backs. Jair Brown is playing like a starter. I saw Logan Ryan come out there a couple times. Nothing flashy, but it's kind of nice to see Logan getting acclimated already. But biggest shout outs to Tarvarius Ward and Demo Lenore. Oh my God. We were glowing about Tarvarius Ward last year. He's playing even better now. And then I would personally give a game ball to Diamador Lenore. Every tackle that he made was clean and it was so hard. He's playing his ass off this year. And I just wanted to give a little 30 seconds to just shine a light on him because he's really stepping up and really trying to earn his contract next year. And they just, I don't know, our whole back with Avery Thomas too. I love our secondary this year.
Yeah, I think the secondary has really stepped it up in the last few weeks. That's for sure. I mean, Demo's been great. Thomas has been good. Obviously, Ward has been fantastic on the one side. And I mean, I think as long as he continues to lock down that one side, we're going to be A-okay. I think one of the more other interesting aspects is I like what they're doing with the defensive line on third down now when it's an obvious passing situation. If you've noticed, they've been just putting in like a pass rush package. So they'll put in Bosa. Well, Bosa's usually in anyways, but they'll bring in Chase Young. They'll bring in Gregory, and they're bringing in one other guy. I don't know who it is offhand, but they're bringing in specifically just basically guys to just go get the passer. And they're moving them all over the place too. They're lining up in different spaces and spots. So I think that's a really interesting twist that they've put in. I just noticed it last week and then this week as well. I don't know when they started doing it for sure, but I think that's a really cool concept where they just basically say, look, we're putting all our best pass rushers on the field. Let's go get them.
I could imagine Sealand Farrell's in there because Sealand was a starter for a while. But yeah, no, I also love it too. When they put Chase and Bosa in the middle, they still keep sprinkling that in every now and then, having them as tackles. I love that. Just bull rush them up the middle. But the only thing really that, I guess if we were going to segue this into kind of, we annihilated the Cardinals, how are we going to be thinking about the Ravens?
Well,
our health is really the only factor, really, I think. Our injury list is really, really long. Most of the stuff is day to day, but damn, we're going to need a majority of that list to be healthy to compete with the Ravens.
Well, before we talk about the Ravens, I just want to say, what the heck is Randy Gregory doing, pushing somebody after the play and nearly causing Nick Bosa to have a season ending? Oh my gosh. That is dumb. Stop. I mean, you could tell everybody get around them like, you nearly cost us, our best defensive player.
We need to, we need to talk before the Ravens, we need to talk about the three biggest, scary moments of the game. That was absolutely terrifying, thinking we had no Nick Bosa's Achilles torn. The not so scary one, it was just really funny when Christian McCaffrey just fell on his butt and it was almost down there, but then he was still able to get up. But that was definitely for me still a hold your breath, like, oh, what? But yeah, no. Do we all have thoughts on Brock Purdy almost getting knocked the F out in this game?
I mean, my life flashed before my eyes when they panned back and Purdy was just laying down motionless basically on the field. I was like, oh my God. I'm like, tell me this isn't happening. Tell me this isn't happening. I'm like, please just get up, Brock. Please just get up. I was so distraught. I was like, oh my God, this season is going to be over. But then thankfully he just went and got checked out and came right back. So
I felt bad. I had to tell my fiance was watching the game with me, and I don't mind talking to her during the game. Like, I can still hear the commentary, but in that moment I felt really bad because it was like when I had to tell my mom to be quiet when I was trying to see Greenlaw get thrown out. I was just like, babe, our quarterback just got knocked out. Please be quiet. But no, thank God he just got a shoulder stinger. Bro, the way he got hit, that really looked like he was going to have a concussion and miss next week. I'm so talk about some luck. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
But no, Randy Gregory too. Thank you for mentioning Randy Gregory. He definitely needs to be embarrassed in the film room today if he wasn't yet.
So, yeah. Well, I mean, we've got an extra day for everybody to get healthy for the Ravens game. To your point, Dan, about getting people healthy and ready to go. So hopefully that helps out. I think we'll probably see Armstead play, I would imagine. I don't know how bad Hargrave's hamstring was, but I can imagine he'll probably play as well. And, I think everything will be back to kind of what we would expect from the defensive side of the ball.
Well, we got Kalia Davis is definitely going to be out. They said his ankle was a high ankle sprain. I didn't actually check before we got on here. I don't know if Drake Jackson's eligible to come off IR yet. I feel like he is. I hope he is, because that'd be some nice depth to get back. We had another. I forgot the other defensive lineman that had just an ankle, day-to-day ankle. He'll probably be fine. And then Demo got a bruise on his rib, but they said that he's day-to-day. He's probably going to be fine. But no, just with how many people on our injury list were defensive line, like, I was wondering, like, if we should entertain, like, I saw Justin Houston became available from Carolina, if we should look into him. Or someone else I saw online said, hey, maybe we can knock on Ndamukong Suh's door. He's really old, but defensive tackle fits right in there. If Armstead or Hargrave have a setback during practice this week, I mean, I don't know. Like, it's good that we've had this many players because we can go through this rotation, but now that more than half of them are hurt, at least they're not chasing Bosa. But if our center of the line is that bad going against the Ravens with how hard they run, that's not good.
Well, I mean, the one main running back for the Ravens just got his knee blown out in the game the other day. So, I mean, I'm a little less concerned about their running game now because Gus Edwards has not been good running the ball all season long. He's not explosive. He's just going to run into the line and, get 2-3 yards a push at most anyways. So I'm a little less worried and concerned about them from a running perspective than I was before the game. So I don't know. We'll see. I think the 49ers, to James's point again that he made earlier, I think they're in control of their own destiny. Thank you, Seattle Seahawks. Big shout out, Seattle Nation, for the for the win the other night, putting us a full game.
Just so you know how mad, like, I get mad during the game, but my wife got even madder. She literally said on one of the plays that if the refs called it back or gave them a penalty, she literally was going to take a dump in the refs' mailbox. Like, like, that's my wife, and she did not say dump. She said the other expletive for it. So,
Oh my
so
God.
yeah,
A poop in the mailbox.
So
Dude.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, at least I have my wife to be passionate about and earmuffs bitch about the Eagles with when they lose and at the game. It is kind of nice, to have somebody that will do that because as frustrated as you are.
Well, we need to shout out Bills Mafia too for taking down the Cowboys. Like, I don't think anybody saw that coming either. Like, James, you saw that Seattle was going to beat the Eagles because I don't think any of us.
Yeah, you did call that, my man. You called that for sure.
I did. I said Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll has our number. That's 8 straight with no losses against the Eagles. It's uncanny, like how bad they are when they play Seattle. It doesn't matter, and they literally blew that lead. Like they just have our number. It doesn't matter who the quarterback is. I mean,
welcome to playing Seattle for 10 years. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
no,
it's just insane how inept we are against Seattle.
Doesn't it suck to lose to Seattle every time? Like,
yes, every time we lose to Seattle, I just I can't stand it. And like the one time, like they were in Philly during a playoff game, and it was 17-9 after they knocked Carson Wentz out of the game, and I'm just like, Josh McCown is playing that game and nearly back. Like, it just we have bad luck against Seattle. It doesn't matter what. And you look at that game, I feel the refs, I mean, the Eagles, yes, needed to play better. They need to do better things, but the refs seem to be more one-sided in that game. And it just and the Eagles just playing the way they did not help things. And yeah, I don't know what to say. I just, I don't see things going well for the Eagles this year. It doesn't look like they can get it together, and the 49ers should literally cruise to their next Super Bowl championship because they're really, you look at the AFC, you look at the NFC, there's really no teams that can compete with them. It really is. It's just they're far and above the best team in the league. And yeah, whoever they play in the Super Bowl, they'll at least be a touchdown favorite. I guarantee it.
Well, we're only 5
Well,
points against the Ravens. Let's keep in mind, like this is going to be like, yeah, we're playing the Commanders, and the Rams are probably going to be playing for a wild card spot, really. So they'll be fighting whether we are or not. Like we'll just see how the rest of it shakes out. But no, this feels like the same kind of hype before Philadelphia. Like I was a little reassured because I did watch the highlights of the Ravens game, and the Ravens do look susceptible. Like I think we can compete very well against the Ravens, but I just can't shake this feeling because of how good they can be. Their ceiling is really high, but their basement is equally low. So hopefully we get the Ravens that are closer to the basement than the ceiling.
Well, generally they play up or down to their competition. So they'll probably be on point for the 49ers game. But I just
they know this is number 1 versus number 1. They're not oblivious to how big the stakes are in this game for both of them.
No, but I mean, I still would take I would still take the 49ers minus 5.5 in this game. I don't see it being that close, especially since it's at Levi. So
yeah,
like I don't see the Ravens coming in there and winning at all. And I just don't think it'll be close. I don't the 49ers are just too good. And yeah, the Ravens are the best probably in the AFC, but they haven't looked good in some bad games. And
that went AFC, overtime with the Rams. Let's not forget 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, so like you don't know what you're going to get from the Ravens and the 49ers. You know what you are getting every single week. You are getting a juggernaut offense with basically a defense that will stalemate your offense to like nothing. And that's what you get from the 49ers every single week, minus those 3 games from the Midwest, nightmare. They have looked considerably almost, on a scale of maybe, the 2007 Patriots, except I think they're going to win the Super Bowl. Like they're that dominant against people. And the fact that they lost, they know that they can't let up and can just automatically go there and get a win against anybody. They know that they are susceptible to a loss if they don't play up. And like I said, what's Kyle going to do when he's up 28-3?
I think he has the offense now to not play to not lose. I think he has the offense and the confidence now to actually play to win. It sure seems like it now.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what happened. They must have had that powwow that I was really hoping for since the bye week, because he is very aggressive on offense. That defense is a juggernaut, assuming we stay healthy, knock on wood. So I don't know. I guess the last thing I'll ask then is, are we happy that the media is finally begrudgingly, I guess we need to take Purdy as an MVP candidate now. Like, that's been so satisfying to see.
Yeah. I mean, Purdy as an MVP candidate is the clear favorite, should be the clear favorite, with Christian McCaffrey right behind him. Really, after that, who's next? I mean, the 49ers have the best team. They have the best offense. There's no way they shouldn't win the Super Bowl this year. Like, there's no way. If they don't win the Super Bowl this year, then it's a disappointment, because they literally are the best. They have the best roster, and yeah,
that's verbatim what I was telling my fiance, like when the game was over, like, because she's not a footballer like at all, and I said for pretty much that verbatim, like, you have no idea how crushed my soul will be because of how talented this roster is, that we blew a Super Bowl ring, because this team will never happen again. How lucky it is that this team is as good as it was after last year is just so infinitesimally impossible to have happened. And so the fact that it did, like my a little part of my soul will be crushed. Not
Well,
quite as bad as actually losing the big game, but no,
and
this team is too talented.
if you remember when we came on this show probably in May, and I said if the 49ers are to go on and win a Super Bowl, they were going to need Brock Purdy to play at an elite level, and he has, and that's it. He's playing at an elite level. MVP.
He's 208 yards away from a 4,000-yard season, and we have 3 games left.
Yeah, it's insane, and he's playing at an elite level. This is what the quarterback the 49ers needed. This is what Shanahan has always wanted for this 49ers offense. There's, like you said, Dan, if they lose the Super Bowl or don't get to the Super Bowl this year or win the Super Bowl this year, it will be a disappointment. And who knows if you'll get back, again after this year, because next year you're going into cap hell.
Yeah, no. Eric, did you have anything to chime in on that? I'm sorry if it sounded like we were stepping on you.
Oh, no, not at all. I think it's interesting that you were mentioning that Brock is so close to 4,000 yards. He's second behind Tua overall in yards for the season. He's just shy of 3,800 yards. Tua is at 3,900. But Brock is 21st overall in attempts this season. So he's making by far, we said Tua was first. Tua has 458 attempts. Brock has 384. So he's whatever that is, 70-ish attempts behind Tua in terms of throwing the ball, and yet he's only like 100 yards behind him. So I mean, he's making an insane
whole games worth of attempts.
Yeah, and he's making an insane difference in terms of the yardage that he's doing. What you were saying there, I don't remember, James or Dan, whichever one of the two of you it was, about Kyle and his aggressiveness. I don't know that Kyle has actually changed what he does, to be honest. I think that Brock has made all the difference in the world in that, to be honest. I think that Brock is seeing the plays. I think Kyle always had the plays, right? I think if you go back and you look at some tape of when Jimmy was back there and you would look at the all-22 film, you could see guys down the field 10, 15 yards running open. So Kyle was getting guys open back in the day when Jimmy was there. Jimmy just never threw the ball. He just wouldn't make those passes. I think now we're seeing Brock is making those plays and is making those passes. So I don't necessarily think that Kyle has gotten more aggressive per se. I think he's still calling the same game. I think Brock's just seeing the field and seeing those plays and trusting his guys better than Jimmy ever did, and is able to actually make those throws that Jimmy couldn't make. And it's just opened up our offense to a whole new level. I think that's really what's occurred.
Yeah, and I don't think I agree with you, Eric. I don't think he's gotten any more aggressive. And you can tell by the way he doesn't do those little analytical things that coaches like Doug Peterson does, to get the edge in a game for whatever it's worth. Like, he still plays not to lose. He doesn't, like, there have been times this year where there was a penalty on the extra point and they literally only needed a yard to get 2 points instead of 1. Like, those types of things he doesn't do. And that's the only thing that I can gripe on him about, because those types of things, in a game, a close game or a tight game, which I know they haven't played yet, but if they do, it's those types of things that could help you win a game in those instances. And because doing something like that, yeah, I know you're up 14 or whatever, but you're playing to win in that case. And we've seen that Kyle really plays not to lose. And that's what, I don't think he's any more aggressive. You're right, Eric. I don't think he's any more aggressive than he has been.
Maybe I'm just blinded by the effect. I must be blinded by the effectiveness of, like, this is how I envisioned these plays actually going. Because he said, I listen to him talk to Greg Papa every week, and this week specifically, I'm sure he said it 100 other times, he goes for the explosive. Like, he wants every single play to be explosive. In his words, he doesn't design any plays to just be like, oh, I only expect or think 5 yards here, 3 yards there. Maybe this pass will get 15 yards. Maybe he's blowing his own smoke, but he says, no, I design every play to have the upside being it going to the house. And he expects most of these plays that he's calling, the way he calculates them, to go to the house. So now that we have the most explosive offense in the league and we have a quarterback that is executing it as perfectly as he is, maybe that's what I'm getting blinded to. Because, I mean, when you have the offense like what we have, where the explosive plays seemingly happen at least 3 times a quarter, yeah, you can be a little bit more lax in the fourth quarter and pull Brock Purdy out with 8 minutes left.
Yeah, here we are, yet another game that Brock hasn't finished. I think that's like, what, 7 or 8 on the season now that Brock hasn't finished this season? I mean, that's just absurd.
Who was that stupid reporter who said, oh, if there's anything against Brock Purdy, he's not good in the fourth quarter? Like, are you watching me? That's so dumb. That's so dumb. He's not playing the fourth quarter because they're up so much. Like, who are you? Like, you're just searching for something. Like,
are you sure you weren't looking at Jimmy G's stats?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I mean, that's so funny.
I think, yeah, not to fall back on the whole Eagles getting beat thing yesterday, but having that game up in the NFC now makes a huge possibility of us hopefully beating the Ravens next week and then going on and beating Washington and having first place lined up and not really having to play anybody in week 18. So theoretically, we could take 2 weeks off, the week 18 and then that first bye week. I think that would be absolutely huge for this team.
Yeah.
Yo, if we could actually do that,
it could
that
be
would
even sooner. It could even be the sooner with the way the Eagles are playing right now. Yeah, they're playing the Giants, but I mean, this Eagles team could easily get beat by this Giants team. And you look at the Cowboys and the rest of their schedule as well. Like it could even be, week 7, week 16, or
could we lock up the number? If the Eagles and the Cowboys both lose and we beat the Ravens, that would lock the number 1, wouldn't it?
Yes.
If the Eagles, the Cowboys, and the Rams all lose this week, we lock up number 1.
Yeah, it could easily.
I'm sorry, the Lions, not the Rams.
Okay, so literally seed 2, 3, and 7. If all 3 of them lose, okay. Or 5, whatever the Eagles seed is right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy to think, but you could easily have it locked up by here because none of those teams are really playing at their best and have been susceptible to losses. So, I mean, you guys they're not. It's easy to think that you guys could end up with the 1 seed after this weekend.
Well, I mean, the Cowboys play the Dolphins.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the good thing about that is we're sitting pretty because we're the last game of the week. So, I mean, we'll know exactly where we sit going into the game, right? So the Cowboys play the Dolphins. Possible that I don't have any idea what to make of that game. Those two teams those two teams confuse the hell out of me. I don't know what to make of either of them. The Lions play the Vikings. The Vikings could beat the Lions. The Lions are very up and down, it seems. Yeah. And then, James, you're saying that the Eagles could possibly lose to the Giants. So, I mean, it's not an impossible scenario.
Yeah, I hate to say it. No matter, like, it's hard to not pick the Eagles in a Giants-Eagles game, but the way this team looks, like, I wouldn't doubt. I wouldn't be surprised if the Giants somehow came out and beat us, in a close game, in a tight game, just because of how inept the Eagles' offense is against any defense. It just seems like, and they're not playing well. Their offense is predictable, and the only thing that I will guarantee in that Eagles-Giants game is that Boston Scott scores a touchdown, and that's about it.
Well, currently the Eagles are a 12-point favorite, so go figure that one out.
Yeah,
Why has Vegas paid attention? Like, no, the Giants just had an embarrassing loss, but what? No, I'm shocked they're not only a 7-point favorite.
12-point favorite. I say take the Giants with the points.
Yeah, that would be pretty hardy.
Gosh. Well, I think with that, guys, I think we've just about covered everything that we could about this game. And now we begin to wait eagerly in anticipation for Christmas Day when we will be facing John Harbaugh, Lamar Jackson, and the Baltimore Ravens.
Please, Santa, bring me a Niners win for Christmas.
Yes. Before we sign out, of course, we have to talk about our sponsors very, very quickly. Our sponsor, our very gracious sponsor for the entirety of this season, Royal Retros. What is RoyalRetros.com? It is your go-to place to go get yourself an authentic throwback jersey. They don't just have football, they cover all of the major sports, but obviously we're a Niners podcast, and for you Niners fans there, they do have a candlestick collection up right now with some really nice 49ers gear. They also have San Francisco Giants gear if you're into baseball. Go ahead and check all that out. And if you find something you like, go ahead and throw it in your cart and use the promo code Shady Sports to get 10% off of your entire order. Again, it's promo code Shady Sports for 10% off your order at royalretros.com. It helps the channel. It helps the show. Thank you, Shady Sports, for hooking us up with this awesome sponsorship. Again, guys, royalretros.com, promo code Shady Sports. Go get yourself an authentic throwback jersey today. James, let the people know about the charity once that goes away. There we go.
Also, about Royal Retros, they don't just have, like Dan says, they have a lot of 49er stuff, but they even have Philly stuff. They have the Negro League baseball uniforms for the Philly team. They also, I believe, have a Philadelphia Stars USFL gear as well. So if you're into Philly sports, if you're into rare jerseys, Royal Retros is the place to get them. And with that being said, we're going to talk about our charity like we have been throughout much of the season. Basically, if you read the news in the last 6 or 7 months, with the Houston Texans owner being charged of very serious sexual crimes in Kentucky, and then also the CEO, Jed York, of the 49ers, being caught in a civil lawsuit for insider trading with a company that helped students cheat during the pandemic. So with that, the reason why we're talking about that is because the NFL knew in the case of Jed York, we can allegedly say they knew for 2 years, and they definitely knew for a couple of months, like 3-4 months, in the Houston Texans minority owner of their wrongdoings. However, they failed to report. But as we know, if we looked over the past month, Von Miller, who was allegedly in a domestic violence issue with his girlfriend, got charged with domestic violence charges. We knew before he turned himself in and when the arrest warrant was. And the NFL has said that owner standards are supposed to be held higher to player standards. However, we don't think that they're doing that. And so we're bringing awareness to that. And to show you we put our money where our mouth is, we are selling T-shirts for charity to help a Kentucky crisis center. So first T-shirt we have here is the statement, owner standards are less than player standards, #owner accountability. That's the statement we are making. $22.99 gets you that in a T-shirt. We have different colors, different styles, different sizes. That's our statement, though, with our hashtag. The next one is the owner standoff shirt. This is our specifically charity only shirt. We had this for the Dan Snyder campaign, and now we have it for this campaign. $22.99 gets you that in the T-shirt, or you can get it in a pullover hoodie or a crew neck sweatshirt as well. The next one is our Niner Nuts podcast logo art. You'll find this on our YouTube channel, Spotify podcast channel, or Apple Music podcast, or wherever you listen or watch us. $22.99 gets you that in the T-shirt. And then next we have our Niner Nuts alternate logo. Basically, I have this shirt, nice quality. $22.99 gets you that. We have it in different colors and different styles and different sizes as well. And then finally, last but not least, our official mascot, the Niner Nuts peanut, eating peanuts while sitting on the couch rooting for his San Francisco 49ers. $22.99 gets you that in T-shirt. Donate to a Kentucky crisis center today. All the proceeds go to charity. Search Niner Nuts Apparel, bonfire.com in Google, and it'll pull right up. It's the first link that you see. That's where you'll find these T-shirts.
Yeah, guys, we don't want any money for these shirts. We just want you to have a cool shirt while you're helping out a family in need. And we are going to continue to sell these shirts for a while. So feel free to go ahead, go grab one, help out a family today. I'm going to continue my trend of not reading a news story. The only thing that I saw noteworthy in the news was Aaron Rodgers is actually saying now that he's probably not going to play this year. I wonder why after the Jets got eliminated. But I want to shout out. Based on the photos that I saw, I would say that probably 3,000 people went to the Carolina Panthers game over the weekend. I actually did check in on that game more than once just to see the camera crew deliberately going out of their way to not show the crowd. That was really, really funny to me. I didn't care about the final score. I'm sure the game itself was terrible. Like from the little bits I saw, it was.
And how much were tickets before the game?
Oh, literally
$10.
Literally as low as 45 cents.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. They were literally less than $1. And I tried to find numbers online about what the final attendance was. They issued, I'm using my words carefully, they issued 70,000 out of the 72 and change that stadium can hold. Yeah, right. 70,000 people were there. Like I said, I would bet somewhere between 2,000 and 3,000 were there. And
I don't even think there was that many people there.
I mean, there's more people at a St. Louis Battlehawks game than that, man.
No, some of the photos I saw, it looked like there wasn't even 200 people there. I'm gonna give it a little bit of I bet somewhere between 2,000 and 3,000 were actually there. All said and done, if they actually said what the number was. But yeah, all I could find was that they issued 70,000 tickets, which clearly not that many people were there. But yeah, no, I just wanted to shout out those fans because that looked like some pretty torrential rain that you sat through for a terrible game. And I hope you all have a wonderful, happy holidays, whichever holiday you celebrate.
What was the final score? 9-6 and
9-7.
9-7.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It was a division game too, and it just shout out to all of them that braved that rain.
Yeah. The only bit of news that I saw, which might be interesting for our parlay show, is that it looks like Stroud is not going to play this week. So heavy on the Browns versus the Texans.
Okay. Very nice. I think then, unless James, you happen to see something newsworthy.
Nope.
Right on. Well then, like we've been talking, we are playing on Monday, but it's not the Monday Night Football crew. It is the Sunday Night Football crew on NBC and Peacock. We're going to be at home playing the Ravens, literally the number 1 AFC team and the number 1 NFC team as of this taping. Going at it. Might be a Super Bowl preview, might not, but yeah, no, we're back to a really, really important game 3 weeks after Philadelphia. And I said Philadelphia was going to cement our footing for Super Bowl contenders. This is exactly what the Ravens game is going to be. So I can't wait. It's going to be really intense. Hopefully my family doesn't care that I'm going to be watching the game while I'm hanging out with them. But yeah, James.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Outro music, River Road, Justin Youth.
Happy holidays. Let's beat the Ravens.
River Road, you got me running way back home. River Road, you got me running all night long. You got me singing some canal boat song. River Road, you got me running all night long. River Road, where have all the women gone? Have they kissed her hand and waved you bye-bye? Have they thought about crossing your double yellow lines? River Road, they love the way you